Good morning. Welcome back to my channel, Everything Business by Sirisha Varma. Today's video is all about small business owners. Most of the times, many small business owners face this problem of how to create a brand. And that is what we are going to focus in today's video. In today's video, we are going to talk about what a brand actually means and why you should build a brand and how easily you can build a brand as well. Now, most of the times, whenever this word branding comes into picture, there is a lot of confusion in people's minds. People think there are a lot of activities that need to be done to get the branding right. Some of the activities, most of you already know. People talk about logo creation, people talk about the company name or the brand name. Apart from that, we also talk about the brand colors, what is the vision of the brand, what is the mission of the brand, all of these things. But most importantly, if you are a small business owner, you need to think about branding in a very different way rather than how corporates think about it. The reason being, just look at your product, right? As a small business owner, probably you are selling a product which is used by mass public. So it could be probably cosmetics, it could be food materials, etc. Now, if you specifically look at the product that you're selling, it may not be very different from what the market has to offer. Or it might be a bit different from what the market has to offer. For example, if you are specifically only selling organic foods, then probably it is very different from what the market has to offer. But 99 times out of 100, your product is not that unique as a small business owner. But still, you want to create a dent in the market. You want to create a unique proposition just for your brand. And that is where branding comes into picture. Branding tries to distinguish your product from other products in the market, even though the product by itself may not be indistinguishable. Now, why should you create a brand? Why don't you just sell it under your own name? The reason for creating a brand is to think about the longevity of the product. For example, most of the times you must have gone to a local kirana store. It might be hot, you might want to drink something cold. Now you have two different brands over there. You have a Coca Cola bottle as well as you have a local soda bottle. Which one will you opt? Because you know about Coca Cola, you would definitely opt for Coca Cola. But if you were somebody who is residing in that locality, you have seen this local brand in the stores, you have heard a lot about this local brand, then you would definitely buy from the local brand itself, not just Coca Cola. So that is where the branding distinction comes into picture. Branding is generally thought about for a longevity of the product. Apart from that, using branding, you could also price your product a little higher than what the market has to offer, and people will still buy from you because branding generally gives a promise to the customer that the quality of the product will always be best. And that is where, even if you price it a little bit higher than the market, people would still buy from you. So these are all the advantages of creating a brand. Now, specifically if you're a small business owner, what do you need to define when you do branding? Because many people think branding is just about the logo creation, branding is just about the brand name, branding is just about a tagline. You are very, very wrong, my friend, because branding is much more than all of these things. Of course, these things are representative of the brand, but they by themselves don't define the brand. That is where today's video comes into picture. In today's video, we are going to talk about the top 5 things that you need to define for yourself as a small business owner before you get into this maze of creating a brand for your product. So, by the way, let's get into the content now. So, what are the top 5 things that you need to first think about before you start or go ahead and create a brand? Number one, who are you? What is your story? As a small business owner, sometimes or most of the times, 99 times out of a 100, the brand is all about you because you are a single owner, you are a solo entrepreneur. You have this vision of creating this product or creating this brand. So the brand is all about the owner of the company or the founder of the company. So first of all, you need to talk about who you are and what is your brand story. So again here, since the brand is all about you, the brand story is also about your vision for why you have created this brand. So why is this important? This is important because people, like I said, most of the small businesses, they don't create any products which are very unique from the market. Their products are just as normal as the others are offering. But just to create a distinction, you are creating a brand. And this is where your story and your background comes into picture. The more different your story, the more relatable your story, the more customers try to work with you or try to buy into your brand. Why is this important? Because as a small business owner, since the product by itself is not very different from what the market has to offer, what else can be different? What else can be different is you as the owner can be very different. So that is where people buy from people, but of course they buy the products from people. So if they are trying to buy from you, the more they know about you, the more they know about your background story, the more they try to connect with you. For example, one of the best products or one of the best brands that has been created in India is your lichat papad. So if you specifically look at lichat papad, the story of lichat papad is entirely different from what the market has to offer with similar kinds of products. Lichat papad is a group of women who have come together, who wanted to increase the income of their families, and thereby they started this brand called as lichat papad. And most of the times, if you specifically go to a supermarket, you have these two papad packets right before you. You have the lichat papad packet, you have probably some other XYZ brand. If you buy both these brands, you take them to your home and you try the product 199 times out of 100, the products are not very different. So when you taste both the products, they feel very similar. They're not that distinguishably different. But still, Lichat Papad is growing to the state and is a profitable company. Why is that? Because a lot of people who have resonated with the brand story of Lichat Papad about this woman empowerment that we keep hearing too, even in the metro cities. And that is where Little Puppet has created its own distinct identity. And that is why, as a small business owner, you should also be outright talking about your story. You should talk about the vision behind the brand. That is why you have created this brand. So, number one, you have to define is who are you? What is your back story? Now, the second point and the most important point that many people, specifically small business owners, ignore is about the target audience. Who is your audience? Who is the ideal customer that is going to buy from you? Now, specifically, if you look at small business owners, they don't look at this segment as a very important segment. But of course, it is the most important segment. Target audience is important because if you know who you are selling to, you could communicate in a way that makes it better for them. See, most of the times, we as a small business owner, we always think about our preferences. We think about which specific audience this product is for. But until and unless you launch it in the market, you specifically don't know which audience is buying into this product. And that is where target audience comes into picture. If you have been in the business world for a few years, then you already know what sort of audience is buying into your products or services. If you have just started out, you could probably start with an assumption regarding who your target audience is. But once you have reached certain volume of products that you have sold, You need to start surveying your audience, or you need to start surveying your customers to exactly know who is preferring your product. If you know who is preferring your product, you can communicate to them in a way that they understand better. You can provide them with offers that make them that provide the most value to them, because most of the times, even you must have seen that you keep getting these SMSs regarding these offers of products which you might never even buy. So rather than provide these blanket kind of offers which may be or may not be right for your target audience, if you know exactly who your customer is, you can provide better value proposition offers to them. That is why target audience is very, very important. And as I rightly said, depending on your target audience, your communication can also differ. The best communication, of course, specifically when it comes to brand, here in India is the Amul girl. You must have seen these small cartoonish characters that appear in all the newspapers. They have the Amul brand, and they specifically talk about that day or that month or that week's political or gender, whatever topic has been going on in people's mind, they specifically create that cartoon regarding that specific topic. And that is why you keep remembering about Amul, and you also smile looking at the sarcastic comments that the cartoon puts out. That is where the target audience mapping is very important. Now, coming to point number three. Point number three is to defining what your UVP is. Most of you have already heard about USP. USP is your unique selling proposition. UVP is different, wherein I am calling it as your value proposition. Why should somebody buy into your brand rather than into an XYZ brand? Because, like we have already discussed, 99 times out of 100, probably a small business is selling a product which is not very different from what the market has to offer, which probably has just one or two points which are different from what the market has to offer. In that case, why should somebody buy from you rather than somebody else? What is the value proposition that you are bringing to the table, that you are bringing to your customer? Once you define your value proposition, you know how different your product is or how different your brand is. Once you know how different your brand is, you can actually push through that message effectively to a wider audience. So defining what your UVP is very important. UVP can be multiple things. UVP can be a small tweak that you have done in a product. UVP can be the design of the product. UVP can also be just the pricing factor, wherein your product, which is as per the standard quality of the market, but is offered at a lower price. So no matter what your UVP is, you have to define your UVP. Your sales team has to know this UVP by heart. Even if they are sleeping, if somebody wakes them up and asks them what your UVP is, they should be able to recite it to whoever has waken them up. So that is how you should be proficient with your UVP. Now, point number four, share, share, and share. As a small business owner, most of the times you see these entrepreneurs who are hustling, who are struggling, but they never share their stories. See, again, why should a customer buy from you rather than a big brand when the product seems to be very much similar? The reason being, people would love to know about stories of people. People want to get connected to you before they can buy from you. But how can they connect from you if they don't know anything about you? If they don't know your story, if they don't know your background, if you don't share what is happening with your day to day life, the struggles probably of an entrepreneur or the successes of an entrepreneur, if you are sharing, then you are caring. That means people will also care or give it back to you. So that is why don't be hesitant. Nowadays, using the digital space, there's so many venues which are available for you to share your story, to share your experiences, to share your problems, or to just discuss the new things that you have brought into your company, or to share the stories of the people who are working in your brand. So use these mediums. Share your story on your website, which is your own medium. Share your story on social media platforms. Share them as snippets of data, even on WhatsApp. And email marketing is the best for a small business owner. Using free tools like MailChimp, you could share your every week news or every week stories to your audience. So don't be afraid to share. Now, point number 5. This is the most ignored aspect of any small business, and this is the number one aspect why 90% of the small businesses fail. That is not investing in marketing early on. Most of the times as a small business owner, many people think that I don't want to do marketing because I want to completely rely on word of mouth. I'm sorry to say there is no more word of mouth now. Everything has moved digital. And just to give it a little push, you need marketing. If you invest in marketing, there is always this competitive advantage that you will have in the market. Because what are you doing with marketing? With marketing, you're just pushing the word of mouth into a quicker pace, because generally word of mouth or organic is a slow process. But if you are a small business owner, you cannot sustain the slow process that it takes. It probably takes 5 years, it probably takes 10 years to create a brand, and you have to still sustain that brand within this period of time. If you're a big brand, then you can probably afford to wait for the time until this organic following builds up, because you have a lot of money in the form of budgets. But as a small business owner, the number one thing that you can do is to make sure that people know about your brand, people know about your product. But if you don't invest in marketing, how will they know about it? Marketing doesn't have to be really on the digital space. It can be offline marketing as well. For example, if you have a product, you could put up stalls in all of these high-rise apartments wherein you showcase your product. See, marketing is not always about bringing immediate sales in. Marketing is also about making sure that people know that such a brand or such a product exists in the market. It is just to push that word of mouth. So invest into marketing early on. Otherwise, there is a probability that you will fail. I hope you will understand these 5 points that I have put in regarding how to create a very good brand for your small business, and you will also incorporate these in your business and build an efficient and wonderful brand. Happy brand building to you. This is Sirisha, founder, chief strategist at Branding by Pixels, a business strategy design and digital marketing company. I create videos on small business marketing, real estate marketing, as well as export market videos. If you are new to my channel, you can find real estate marketing videos under the playlist real estate videos. And if you are a small business owner, you are also trying to specifically export your products or services, then you can understand more about how the export actually works by checking out my playlist How to Export, which has a range of videos specifically on export. If you think this content is helpful for you and you don't want to miss out on any future videos that I'll be posting, please do subscribe to my channel, smash that like button and share it with your friends if you think this will be helpful to somebody in your network. I'll see you again in my next video. And until then, please be happy, please be healthy, and keep marketing and working at your brand. I'll see you again. Bye bye.